This is me rating how every single player in the Premier League did at Euro 2024. So we're going to start with Rasmus Højlund. I'm not going to take too long on every player, by the way, right? There's 68 guys. I don't want to be here all day. Rasmus Højlund had a how do I describe his club season for Man United? Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. It was disappointing for me. I can't lie. It had its highs, had its lows. It was a very frustrating tournament, or a frustrating season. And I think he carried it into the Euros, to be honest with you. For me, this was a very, very frustrating tournament from Rasmus Højlund. I think Denmark at times were pretty good. They played some decent stuff. Defensively, they were all right, but they couldn't score. And it doesn't help when your 72 million men up front is not scoring, and let alone not scoring, barely threatening whatsoever. I think Rasmus Højlund had an extremely difficult campaign. Honestly, I think he found it very, very tough to get into games, to create chances for himself, to win his duels, to occupy defenses. I think he had a very, very, very difficult tournament. And for that reason, we might be starting with first flight back, chat. I can't lie. Honestly, he was anonymous, but he was almost worse than anonymous. Denmark played better, in my opinion, when they brought on Yusuf Poulsen. And we're talking about Poulsen. I'm going to go first flight back, chat. I can't lie. Next up, is that Zabarny? Bournemouth center back, Ukraine center back. I'm a fan of Zabarny. I can't lie. I think he's very good. I actually had him, I think, when I went on Sky. I think I put him in my top 10 center backs of last season. I think he's a good center back. Ukraine had a poor tournament. Let's be real. I mean, they finished with 4 points, which isn't bad in the grand scheme of things. But I think a lot more was expected from Ukraine. And the reason that they went home ultimately is because of goal difference. And it is because they conceded 3 in the first game against Romania. And I just need to make sure he was playing, because I do believe he was. He was there, man. I can't lie, chat. He's a part of that team. For that reason, I like you, Zabarny. I do like Zabarny. I actually think he's a very talented center back. But I'm going to go first flight home, bro. You can't be conceding. The reason they lost was the amount of goals they conceded. And you are basically the leader of that back line. And I get Lunin in goal. Bro, that performance, one to forget. But I don't think Zabarny did enough. Is this Moder? For me, anonymous. I can't lie. I don't think I've really recognized Moder playing for Poland anytime I watched them. For me, he was just kind of like... He was just there, man. I'll be real. So for me, he was anonymous, man. I'm not going to spend too much time on him. I'll be real. Just anonymous for me. Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, our first heavy hitter of this entire list. De Bruyne, for me, had 2 excellent games at Euro 2024. I think the first game, he was very, very good despite Belgium losing. And I think the second game was an exceptional performance. Honestly. And obviously, you guys saw the video I did. I was saying, like, look, I believe in Kevin De Bruyne so much as a talent. And I really want to see him have that first vintage European campaign that I want to see him take over this tournament and make it his own. The next game he played against Ukraine, I thought he was okay. I know he won man of the match. I wasn't too impressed. And then against France, I think he was disappointing, but also like he wasn't playing in his best position. For me, playing Kevin De Bruyne that deep in a double pivot is a waste of time. So, look, I'm not going to put him anonymous or first flight back. He had 2 great games, 2 okay games. For that reason, is it a balled out or is it a head held high? I can't lie. It might be a head held high. Like, you did all you could, honestly. You can leave with your head held high. Did he play at some level way more than we expected, or did he do above and beyond things? Maybe not, but I think it's a head held high, man. Yeah, and you also expect more from players like KDB. When, to be fair, bro, I thought the first 2 games he was very, very good. So I'm going to go head held high for KDB. The next one, Ryan Christie. First flight, anonymous, bro. I'll be real. Scotland. Every Scotland player is deadass chilling and anonymous in first flight back, bro. Disappointing. Very, very bad tournament. Maybe the worst team at the tournament. Next up, that's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, right? I think that's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I'll be real. I'm going head held high. I actually think he impressed this tournament. And bro, that game against England, that was for me the biggest red flag for England where I started looking at, I'm like, yeah, this team's not serious. The fact they let Højbjerg ball out the way that he did it in that game, yo. I looked at everybody on England and said, yo, you just let Højbjerg, who at Spurs now is becoming almost washed, cook you guys like that. The way he almost hit that screamer right at the end. I got Højbjerg at head held high, bro. Højbjerg was impressive this tournament, man. Next up, Amadou Onana. I also got him at head held high. I thought he was one of Belgium's better performers. And I think he kind of gave the blueprint for teams like Villa, that they looked at him at international level on a team that keeps the ball more and said, yeah, you're not just a ball winner. You're not just a guy who covers a lot of ground. You could actually be very, very good in a system that wants to possess the game more. So Onana, yo, if you hadn't already earned yourself a big move at the end of the season or the beginning of next season, you definitely earned yourself a move with your Euro performances. So I got Onana right next to De Bruyne and right next to Højbjerg at head held high. Next up, Kai Havertz. This is a tough one because I know you guys want to put him at like first flight back. I know you guys want to put him low, but he wasn't bad enough to do that. And Kai Havertz had some good performances at this tournament. Havertz, I'm putting at head held high as well too, bro. If this gets too congested, then I'll start moving guys around. But I got Havertz at head held high. I got him like right here. Bro, Havertz did his thing. People are going to be mad that Havertz didn't score more goals. He's not a goal scorer. He's not a great finisher. What you want from Havertz is a guy who makes it stick, who makes the attack flow better, who's kind of like the focal point up front, movement, chances created. I think he did his role, bro. I don't think it's Havertz's fault that Germany didn't score enough goals because that's not his game. If you're expecting Kai Havertz to be the guy delivering you goals consistently at an elite level, I'm sorry, that's on you. I think Havertz did his thing this tournament, bro. I'm not going to say he's another level above that. He didn't ball out per se, but for me, he can leave this tournament and saying to himself, yeah, I did what I had to do, bro. I think he was good all around. Leandro Trossard, anonymous. And that's maybe me even being generous. Barely played, came off the bench a couple of times, and made close to no impact whenever Belgium called upon him. For me, this is a pretty easy one. This one is anywhere below. You guys are saying first flight back. He might be first flight back, chat. I can't even lie. Because if it was like any player that no one really talks about, like he's just anonymous, we don't even see him, I hear it. But he was poor, bro. Yeah, first flight back, I hear it, bro. Souček, Czech Republic, scored. He did score at this tournament, right? I think he scored against Turkey? Nah, Czech Republic were disappointing for me at this tournament, bro. Like, I actually thought that they could get out of this group. And for that reason, he's probably at the top of anonymous. He got his goal. Czech Republic as a whole, for me, disappointing. He was all right, yeah. Maybe we should have one that just says all right, but yeah, anonymous is kind of where I'm putting him there. Cole Palmer is at the top of head held high. I can't put him any higher than that because unfortunately, and it's not his fault, he didn't start a single game at the tournament. But every single cameo that I saw from, Cole Palmer this tournament, I thought that he improved England. And as a substitute, that's all you can really ask to do. Get on the pitch and make your team play better. I thought he brought them energy. I thought he brought them creativity. Scored a great goal in the final. Had the assist for Ollie Watkins. He's on the verge of balling out. But because he didn't start any games, and it's harsh to say that because it's not his fault. I'm going to put him at head held high. But he's one of the few England players, in my opinion, that can leave this tournament with their reputation intact. Kind of looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, yeah, I did all I could do, bro. Cole Palmer, head held high. I might even change it to balling out. It depends how it goes. It depends how many people kind of get at head held high, chat. Give me a little bit and I might move him up. McTominay, anonymous, as he almost always is. This guy for me, bro, if I speak on McTominay, I'm getting in big trouble. If he's not scoring you goals, which to be fair, he did very well at doing so for Scotland in qualifiers. If he's not scoring you goals, he offers you absolutely nothing. The guy in midfield is an absolute ghost. And for me, anonymous is almost made for him, bro. This is a tier almost made for him. Declan Rice. I'm going to go head held high. I can't lie. I felt at times Declan Rice was being a little overrated at this tournament. Like, I think at times, don't get it twisted, he has been scapegoated a little bit as well, too. People need to understand that every player has their own role, has their own strengths, has their own weaknesses. And I think Declan Rice, isn't in the best circumstance because of the system that he's kind of being asked to play in. And in the first two games, he was playing with midfielders for me that didn't suit his strengths. But also, guys, Declan Rice is never going to be the kind of midfielder you want him to be. Just accept that and appreciate the skills that he does bring to a team. Having said that, I think his final performance was poor, and I didn't think he was that brilliant all tournament. I think at times people were trying to make it out like Declan Rice was one of the only England players balling out. Not for me. I think he had good games. I think he had poor games. I think he did his thing. He can leave this tournament and say, I wasn't one of the worst players. I performed in the big moments. Yeah, I did okay. I did all right. For me, head held high. I'll put him here. He's not Rodri, and I think that's the issue here, chat. People are expecting him to be like Busquets. He's not Busquets and he never will be. I don't care who on Twitter tells you this. Declan Rice will never be Busquets in his wildest dreams. So save yourself the stress, save yourself the emotion, and just accept the fact that he's not that kind of player. The kind of player that he is very, very useful if used correctly. Brilliant ball winner, brilliant ball carrier, switches the play decently well. He's just not the kind of player that you're expecting from a DM, but not every DM is made the same. Szoboszlai, first flight back, brother. First flight back. You're supposed to be the leader, the linchpin, the star of that Hungarian team. For me, very, very disappointing from Dominik Szoboszlai this tournament. Very, very difficult. For me, first flight back. Verbruggen, good tournament. Good tournament for me. I got head held high. Yeah, Verbruggen had a good tournament. I think especially against Turkey, right? I think Verbruggen saved the Netherlands, in my opinion. I think he saved the Netherlands. Gvardiol. Is Gvardiol head held high? I don't think he's sending him back. I don't think Gvardiol was one of Croatia's worst players, to be honest with you. I didn't think Gvardiol was a huge issue for Croatia. Maybe anonymous. Maybe you're right. But I'm thinking high anonymous, to be honest with you. I didn't think Gvardiol was like a massive problem for Croatia. Yeah, he was worse than at the World Cup, but at the World Cup, he was one of the best players there. I hear it. He wasn't a huge factor. Anonymous, that suits him. You're not wrong. Eriksen. Chat, I think we need a new tier because head held high and anonymous, there's too much of like a disparity between the two of them. You guys know what I'm saying? Maybe not a meh, but like solid, right? Just solid. We're going to go solid. And in that tier, Eriksen's going in solid. Gvardiol is going in solid. Souček is going in solid. I think that's fair. I think all of them were solid. Trippier's first flight back. Trippier was dog shit, bro. Trippier was honestly had such a poor tournament. And it's no surprise that the minute Luke Shaw came in, England actually looked way better on both sides of the ball, both defensively and going forward. Trippier, I feel for him, right? Like, he's a right-footed player playing on the left with Foden or Bellingham in front of him, who aren't actual wingers. So he was up against it. For me, he was a victim of the fact that Southgate didn't bring a single natural left-footed left back, bar Luke Shaw, who missed the entire tournament. So I feel for him in that sense. But guys, Trippier was the weak point for England all tournament. He was their weakest player. I'm sending him back. Ruben Diaz. Diaz I thought was solid. I thought Diaz was solid. Jenny, are you going to tell me Diaz was worse than solid? I think him and Pepe were actually the best part of Portugal this tournament. I might go head held high, honestly. Diaz has never looked better than Pepe for Portugal ever. I agree. He actually just puts up art of defense animation. For me, Pepe would have been team of the tournament worthy. I don't think that makes Diaz solid or like worse than solid. I'm going to go head held high. I actually like Diaz's performances, and I'm not a huge Diaz fan typically, but I thought he had a solid tournament. I think he can hold his head high. Foden, man. I'll be real. Foden, anonymous was made for Foden. I think I'm going to put Foden at anonymous because this tier was made for him. Because personally, Chet, I think there were actually worse players for England this tournament at times than Foden. Like, I think there were games where Foden played better than Jude. But the thing with Foden is that he didn't have a single high point of this entire tournament. In fact, there were points where you just completely forgot he was playing. That final against Spain, for me, for a player of that level, was an absolute disgrace because there was no impact on the game whatsoever, both good or bad. The game completely bypassed him. And for me, that's the definition of anonymous. So I can't lie. I might put him anonymous, chat. I might put him anonymous. For me, he's the definition of anonymous at this tournament. You could have honestly watched every single England game and forgot he was playing. I'm going to put him anonymous for now. Guehi, I'm putting balled out. Guehi's my first guy in balled out. Guehi had a great tournament. Guehi for me was England's most consistent top performer. Guehi for me was England's most consistent, most reliable, and best performer throughout the tournament from start to finish. At times, I almost felt though, if I'm being very honest, that like people were overgassing him because he was kind of like the new guy. And it's like, oh, everyone stinks but Guehi. And I was like, oh, Guehi's not playing like fucking, I don't know, Thiago Silva. He's playing good, but let's relax a little. But I have to be very honest, he was still very, very good. Guehi, for me, the player on England that can be most proud of their performances. Again, I told you, anybody who's Scottish, first flight back, bro. Captain, I need more from you. William Saliba, team of the tournament. Team of the tournament for me. And Guehi, to be honest with you, bro, like I said, this is team of the tournament worthy. Guehi could arguably make this tier right here. I might push Guehi up. But Saliba, very, very good tournament, bro. This was kind of like the one that like Deschamps never plays him. He always favors Konate and Upamecano, and a Konate injury kind of like on the eve of the tournament allowed a route in for William Saliba. And ladies and gentlemen, he never turned back. He never looked back. What a tournament from Saliba. I think he had a shaky moment maybe in the first game, but from then on, the guy was imperious. The guy reaffirmed why he's considered one of the best center backs in the league, why he's now considered one of the best center backs in the world. I thought he was brilliant this tournament. So Saliba, for me, I got him in team of the tournament. Trent, first flight back. And I'm sorry, because I like Trent a lot. And it's not his fault because he's not a midfielder. And Trent, you will never be a midfielder. Let's keep that 100%. That's not your position. So you're unlucky in that case. But Trent, those performances in midfield affirm to me why that's not your position. It wasn't an anonymous thing. You were bad in midfield because you're not a midfielder. You're, for me, the best right back in the world. But you are not a midfielder. And if you had any delusion that you could one day kind of develop into one of the best in that position, I think this tournament should kind of be the wake-up call that, yo, stick to what you're great at. You're a brilliant right back. At midfield, for me, it's not even average in my opinion. I think there are midfielders that I don't even rate whatsoever that I would still put in midfield over Trent. So I think he's unlucky because Gareth Southgate will never play him at right back, or he would never have played him at right back. And that's where he's really at his best. But for me, in midfield, that's not the one for me, bro. And this isn't coming from a place to hate, guys. I think Trent's brilliant. But he is not a midfielder. Nowhere near. Billy Gilmore. Sorry, brother. Anonymous. Scotland, bro, they're filling up anonymous in first flight back. Joachim Anderson. I'm going to put him at solid, bro. I'm going to put him at solid. Obviously, that Germany game is so harsh on him, right? Offside where he thought he scored by like a nail. Handball. So unfortunate, but it probably is a handball by letter of the law. But I thought overall, Denmark defensively, I didn't really have an issue with them, bro. I think Denmark defensively were okay. They were okay. So I can't really be mad at their defenders. I got Anderson at solid. Castagna, anonymous for me, bro. Anonymous. You know what? I might even put him first flight back because I actually think Belgium's wingbacks were the weakest part of their game. Honestly, Belgium's wingbacks were so poor. Yeah, I'm putting him at first flight back, bro. I was really disappointed with Belgium's wingbacks. Nathan Ake. I'll be real, chat. I didn't think this was Nathan Ake's best tournament. And I actually really like Nathan Ake. I didn't think this was his best tournament. I didn't think he was that great this tournament. I think I might put him solid. I didn't think he was that great. I think there were better players in the Dutch back line. I wasn't a huge fan, and I'm saying he's solid. I'm not saying he was bad, but he's had better tournaments. For me, I wouldn't put him at head held high. I think he was okay. I'm gonna put Nathan Ake at solid. I think he's been much better for City and for the Netherlands in previous tournaments. Jorginho anonymous. Jorginho's another one that was anonymous. Didn't play every single game for Italy, and honestly, he was brilliant at the last Euros. This one, not one to remember whatsoever. Anonymous. Didn't control games for Italy anywhere near as much as he needed to. I want to keep him anonymous for now. Bernardo Silva is another one that I'm considering putting anonymous, maybe even first flight back. I might put him anonymous. Chat, I think the thing is, right? It's not about like how bad they were. Like anonymous for me is like you had no impact really on the game. Like there were probably players that were worse than Bernardo Silva, but for what I expect from him and how important he should be for that team, he really almost ghosted through so many games for Portugal. So I understand, right? Like I could definitely hear why you would put him at first flight back, but like I didn't think he was worse than some players that I have at that level. But it's just the fact he didn't do anything, bro. Honestly, there were games where like he literally did nothing. So for me, that's the definition of anonymous right there. I got him there. Norgard, anonymous for me, chat. Anonymous. Sorry, not solid. Anonymous. To be honest, Norgard, I don't remember him playing much at all, to be honest with you. I remember Eriksson, I remember Højbjerg, and I remember Hjomland. I don't remember Norgard that much. His cameos might have been substitutions a lot. So I think anonymous is actually perfect for him. Bruno, disappointing. Disappointing tournament for me, bro. Disappointing tournament for me. I wish I had a tier for disappointing. I think I might put him first flight back. Honestly, Bruno was somebody, chat, that I thought had the potential to win player of the tournament at this tournament. I thought he could have won player of the tournament before a ball was kicked. Just on the way that he was going into the tournament off his former Portugal, the way he ended the season of United. I thought he had the potential to put up a player of the tournament level campaign. And I don't think he got anywhere near that. There were games quite really... First of all, the first game was playing way too deep. Way too deep. And then even as the tournament went on, I can't lie, bro. If that's a great Bruno Fernandes tournament, I don't think you guys rate him that much. I think Bruno was meh. I think he was meh, honestly. He's not first flight back. I said anonymous. I got Bruno at anonymous, bro. Gakpo, team of the tournament worthy. Gakpo, team of the tournament worthy. Gakpo is one of those players in terms of like how high a player's stock rose after this tournament. He's up there, bro. He's up there. A guy that, let's be real, the season he had at Liverpool, since he's joined from PSV, it's been disappointing. What's his best role? Is he athletic enough for the Premier League? But this tournament affirmed that if Gakpo is played in his correct position, kind of coming off the left, given time to get off those devastating strikes, he can be a real issue for the national team, and let's see if he can now transfer over to Liverpool. Gakpo is 1,000% team of the tournament worthy. So good. And I said it in the tournament, right? The comparison I made was like, he reminds me of like a Podolski. International killer, first of all. Very, very good ball striker. Not 100% sure whether his best role comes down the middle, off the right, on the left. But Gakpo, for me, is one of those players that completely changed my opinion on him, bro. Gakpo is team of the tournament. Ezri Konsa, head held high. Ezri Konsa can hold his head high. When he came on in that game against, who was it? Switzerland. I thought he had a really good game. I thought Konsa had a really good game. When he came on, did his thing whenever he got substituted on. I think Konsa head held high. I think he can hold his head. He can hold his head high after this tournament. Next up, Fabian Schär. Schär would have been head held high, but that game against England, I thought he was awful. I think Schär against England was so bad. Like, every single time the ball would get him in dangerous situations, he would be so wasteful with it. Up to that point, he was great. But I think that tournament really, really hurt him. That game really, really hurt him. So for that reason, I'm going to put him at solid. I think he was on course for head held high. Lukic, I'm going to go for anonymous, chat. I'll be real. Lukic is anonymous. Serbia, another disappointing tournament for them. In fact, I'm going to go first flight back. Serbia were arguably the disappointment of the tournament. Again, Gallagher, for me, reaffirmed why he should be nowhere near any England starting 11. They tried bringing him on a few games, and they tried giving him the first 45 against Slovenia. That guy's not at the level to start for England. I'm sorry, chat. Has his uses, but come on, bro. That guy treats... let me not even say too much on Gallagher. Where do I put Gallagher? Anonymous for me. Dragusin, very, very good tournament. Very, very good tournament. Head held high. The leader of that Romanian backline. Yeah, Dragusin, head held high. Who expected Romania to win their group the way they did? Head held high. Akanji got team of the tournament. I thought Akanji was one of the best center backs in this entire tournament. And I know the Switzerland game is going to kind of like... be held against, or sorry, the England game where he missed the penalty is going to be held against him. I thought throughout the tournament, Akanji was so good, chat. Honestly, he was so good. Did he make the official team of the tournament? I think he made it, right? I think he actually made the official team of the tournament. That's funny, because I was saying it all tournament long. He, for me, has been one of the best, if not the best center back at the tournament. So big up Akanji, man. Kivior, first flight back. Poland, so poor. So poor. Vestergaard. He's another one, bro. For me, solid. Doku. Doku was solid for me, chat. I can't lie. There were games where Doku was really good. And then there were games where Doku, for me, against France, for example, I think Koundé gave him a really tough assignment. I think Doku was solid. I'm a big Doku fan. You guys know that. I'm a big Doku fan. John Stones. Stones is a tough one, bro. Because Stones, this is probably his worst international performance I've seen. It was a massive fall off from his last couple tournaments. I'm a big Stones fan. But for me, this tournament, I was disappointed because Maguire is gone. You have a guy in Guehi next to you who's basically never been a starter for England. You're supposed to be the senior statesman of that back line. You're the one that's supposed to be organizing everything. I didn't think Stones was great this tournament. Stones for me was a big disappointment. I can't lie. Anonymous, though, he's a center back. He wasn't really anonymous, per se. I didn't think Stones was good, guys. I can't lie. I think in the final as well, too. I might be being picky here, but I actually think that he probably should have done better at anticipating the cross from Cucurella. I don't think he was anywhere near positioned well enough to kind of even like get in the way of that cross. I wasn't a huge fan of Stones this tournament, chat. I can't lie. I think he's a brilliant player. Bottom of solid. Fairs. Jota's solid for me as well, too. Didn't play enough in this tournament, in my opinion. And it's not his fault, right? But I actually think he would have benefited Portugal more if he played more. But Jota was solid for me. Yeah, Jota was done dirty. I agree. But that's anonymous. Oh, my fault. Solid, sorry. Yeah, for me, he's solid. Virgil van Dijk. For me, head held high. I think Van Dijk had a good tournament. To be honest, the Dutch in the group stage defensively were a little shambolic. That moment against Austria was not a good look on Van Dijk, but I think he got it together. And I think he led that back line well. I put Stones in solid. And anonymous. Yeah, we put him bottom of solid, excuse me. Luke Shaw. What can I even say about Luke Shaw, bro? He played, 45 minutes combined? No, I played more than that, obviously. I don't even know. Bro, how do you even judge Luke Shaw at this tournament? Don't put him in the list. He has to be on the list. But how do you even judge him? Bro? What tier could Luke Shaw possibly get into? I guess solid, chat. I guess you're right. Solid. Is that Kobe? Kobe, I want to put at balled out, but his final was really poor. But the rest of his performances were so good. Chat, I'm going to put Kobe at balled out. Because I'll be real. What I'm about to say might sound crazy, but I actually think if he had performed in that final, he would have been a candidate for team of the tournament. That's how good he had been playing up to that point. I think the final was so bad that it moves him down a tier, but it doesn't move him down a tier from balled out to head held high. I think it actually moves him down potentially from team of the tournament candidate to balled out. Cucurella, team of the tournament. The song is shit though. Don't get it twisted. That Cucurella song is annoying as hell. It's horrible. But Cucurella was anything but horrible. This tournament, the best left back at the tournament in my opinion, bar none. So good defensively. Had the assist for the winning goal as well, too. Cucurella, such a good tournament, bro. I don't got to say too much more on that. Team of the tournament for sure. But the song stinks. Dubravka for Slovakia. Head held high. No, Dubravka is actually going balled out. Dubravka had a sick tournament, bro. Dubravka had a really good tournament. Kovacic, anonymous. The definition of Kovacic, anonymous. Pickford is head held high. Is Pickford balled out or is it head held high? To be honest, he's probably team of the tournament candidate as well. Because there weren't that many great goalkeepers. It's tough. Chat, honestly, I think it could be any one of head held high, balled out, or team of the tournament. Because the thing that pissed me off about Pickford was his passing, bro. Pickford's passing was so bad. So, yeah, I agree, Yash Kumar. I completely agree with you. Yash Kumar says, I have a hard time rating this dude. Saves England, but also causes issues by hoofing it every chance. Bro, his final performance is bad, man. You know what it is, M2M? He actually saved England with his saves in the final. But his passing was so awful that it almost negated it at that point because England couldn't keep the ball. Every time it gets to him, he's literally just clearing it into Rosette. Compared to Unai Simon, who save-wise isn't that elite, but with the ball at his feet, he's reliable. That's instruction. I don't think Southgate wants to play. I don't think it is instruction, Raf. I think that's the way Pickford has always played since the beginning of his career to the end. Pickford has always been, the ball comes back to him, and he just lines one up to just clear it as far as it is. I don't think that's instruction. I'm going to go balled out. I think I'll go balled out for Pickford. I think team of the tournament, maybe a step too far. This is Kirkez, I think, right? And if it is, first slight back. Pedro Neto. I think Pedro Neto should have played more, chat. I'll be real. I think the first game, his cameo, which was like very short, but he helped create the goal. And look, I know Conceição scored, but Conceição wasn't that great this tournament. I'll be real. I was surprised that Martinez kept going with Conceição. He kept going to the bench for Conceição. I think Neto deserved more playing time. So I'll go solid for Neto. He deserved more, bro. He's just like Jota. Rodri, team of the tournament. Not much has to be said about that. So reliable, so calm on the ball. So good, especially in the earlier parts of the tournament. Yeah, team of the tournament for me. Semedo. Chat, you know what it was? I don't get why Semedo kept being called on so many times. Why was he like Martinez's go-to substitution every single time? I didn't get that. I didn't get why Semedo was the first or second substitution every single time for Roberto Martinez. That was so confusing for me. Pre-planned subs. I get that, right? But like, why Semedo? What was Semedo bringing to the game, really? That one massively confused me, bro. Nothing against Semedo, but like, it was just such a random substitution that he kept making every single time. Yeah, the wingbacks were actually the best part of Portugal as well, too. For me, anonymous. I'll be real. Anonymous for Semedo. That was a weird substitution for me. Ollie Watkins. I'm going to go Ollie Watkins head held high, bro. I'm going to go Ollie Watkins head held high. That moment alone, for me, warrants head held high. Should have played more. Should have played much more for England this tournament. Zinchenko. First flight back. Bukayo, I'm going to go at the bottom of Baldo. He had a good tournament, but... Yeah, he had a good tournament. I do feel like at times, though, like I'm hearing like he had this like elite level tournament. Like he was England's best attacker because the rest of them were garbage. And he had that huge moment against Switzerland. But he also wasn't brilliant every single game. And that's why I'm going to put him at the same level as Pickford for me. Like for me, they were both good. They were some of England's better players. But me personally, most of England's players for me disappointed. So Saka was good, but I don't know if I can put him above Baldo. To be fair, Baldo is very good. Baldo is a very good category. So I got Saka for Baldo, but near the bottom of Baldo. Lyes is a Trent hater. Nonsense. I think he's the best right back in the world. I can't possibly be a Trent hater if I think he's the best right back in the world. That's nonsense. Is that Che Adams? First flight back. Kyle Walker. You guys want me to talk about Kyle Walker, bro? I'm not talking about Kyle Walker, bro. I'm not talking about him. That guy's shit, bro. Kyle Walker was so bad this tournament. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. How did this guy finesse his way into the team of the tournament? Honestly, bro. How? I'd love to know. Oh my God. Just like dreadful. Genuinely so bad. And you know what Kyle Walker had like 6 moments this tournament that could have honestly like made a meme highlight. A fail comp. But the funniest one for me, chat, remains against Slovenia, where he picked up the ball on the right-hand side. And a player like Trent would play a beautiful diagonal across the pitch. A player like Reece James would probably like get the ball, take on his man, and go down the line. A player like Ben White, combining with Saka, underlapping. What the hell does Kyle Walker do? Looks at his defender, boots the ball out down the line like he's Sonic the Hedgehog, like he's Gareth Bale against Maicon, runs, the ball goes out of bounds. It's like an under 12s where you see like the fastest kid just toe poke the ball down the line and just run. That's what I thought I was watching. That shit was the funniest moment of the entire tournament. Kyle Walker is at the very bottom. He has his own tier. Honestly, shame on anybody who put him in their team in the tournament today. Shame. Bednarek. First flight back. Eze, solid. Weird position for him to play. He was playing as like a left wing back at times. He did okay. Did his thing. Solid for me. I think that's fair, right, chat? I think anonymous solid is fair for Eze. I think Ivan Toney is another one too. I might even put Ivan Toney at solid, to be honest with you, chat. I might put Ivan Toney at solid, because like he scored his penalty, fair enough. He had a good impact in the game against what's it called, Slovakia. But Watkins for me had a better tournament than Toney. Surely right next to I think Watkins did more, to be honest with you, Amenya. I didn't think Toney was like he held up the ball okay, was better than Kane for sure. But I don't know, limit minutes and got the assist for Kane winner. Yeah, that was good. But I think Watkins had more of an impact in his minutes than Ivan Toney, to be honest. I think I'm gonna put Toney at solid. I'll be real. Like for me, he didn't do much more than any of these other guys on the list, bro. Then anonymous, came on as a substitute a few times. Anonymous for me. Robertson, like I said, everybody on Scotland is going on first flight back. This is Soufal. Anonymous for me. Wout Faes, I actually thought Wout Faes was actually decent, chat. I'll be real, unpopular opinion here. I thought Wout Faes was actually okay. I thought he did his thing for Belgium. I was actually moved by Wout Faes. I thought he was solid. I thought he had a solid tournament. Tielemans. Anonymous for me, chat. Anonymous for me. I think they needed more from him, bro. And I think that's actually part of the reason why De Bruyne ended up having to drop B. Tielemans did not have enough of an impact for Belgium in that midfield position. He scored, to be fair. I just wasn't moved by his performances, though, bro. Are we putting him at solid? He probably wasn't any worse than Eriksen, I'll be real. Yeah, Tielemans, you can go in bottom of solid. I'll put you there. Anything I need to change? First of all, is there anybody at head held high that needs to move up? I don't think the list is that bad, chat. I can't lie. Maybe Pickford to head held high. Guys are saying Foden needs to move down. I hear that. But for me, he was more anonymous than bad. I can't lie. He was more anonymous for me than bad. I'm not mad at this list. I'll be real. Obviously, I'm not mad at it. I made it. Dragusin balled out. I hear that. I can hear Dragusin for Baldo. I think I'm pretty happy with the list. I'll be real. A bit harsh on Castagna. I was just really disappointed with Belgium's wingbacks. I think I'm happy with this list, Chad. I can't. Pickford, maybe not so much though. Pickford is the one I'm almost like feeling like I have to put him there. We want to do Pickford down. Should I let you guys do one change, chat? You guys want to get one change that you can do? Havertz too high for me. Easily Germany's weak link. I think I'm gonna put him towards the bottom of head held high. But I think I'm happy with this list. All right, so that's it. That's me ranking every single one of the Premier League players participating at Euro 2024. Let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you guys disagree. Comment down below, of course, as well too. Would you change anything? Would you keep it the same? That's gonna do it.